Hello and welcome, everybody. I appreciate you all being here. I'm just making sure all the buttons are checked. Check, 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 check. And there we go. Hello, Facebook. Thank you very much. I appreciate you reminding me. For some reason, I have to change this Facebook thing because Facebook doesn't open it up to everybody. So let me do that right now. Just bear with me, everybody. Bear with me. Bear with me. Because I have to open up to all our Facebook friends. Because it doesn't do it. Thank you very much. I do appreciate that. Okay. Open sesame. There we go. Now we're good. Now we're cooking with bacon. Is this cooking with bacon or smoking with bacon? I don't know. I was saying. Anyway, hello, everybody. Welcome to the presentation. Thank you so much for being here. Happy Friday. I have the doll. It's in the case. It's over there. But I might bring it out. I might bring it over. I have brought it over several times, but I might there, Tulsa Aaron. Okay, everybody, I'm Bishop James Long with the United States Old Catholic Church, and I appreciate you being here. I really do. Thank you. And we're going to have a really cool show today. I'm looking forward to it. But first, before we get into our, before we get into the meat and potato of the show, I want to say this. Everyone, do me a favor. I want you to send positive thoughts and prayers and energy, first of all, to our deacon, Tommy, who had a procedure done on his back today. So that's number one. That's definitely thoughts and prayers to our deacon. And also, I ask you to send all the positive thoughts and prayers you can to our producer, Bill. Bill recently, just 2 days ago, had a massive heart attack. And he is here behind the scenes right now. It is absolutely phenomenal. It truly is phenomenal. The fact that the man had a heart attack, a massive heart attack. And now 2 days later, he had 100% clogged arteries, and they released it. They fixed it. And with stents, and he is here behind the scenes. It's just, isn't that amazing? I mean, that is just, wow. So I ask you to, Bill is a sweetheart of a man, just a great human being, great human being, and would do anything for anybody. And so, he's behind the scenes right now and probably saying, all right, Bishop, okay. But please, if you would, just send your positive thoughts and prayers for his continued successful recovery. Just a phenomenal. And we thank God that he is pushing forward with us and still plugging along. Boy, what a blessing. What a blessing. So thank you very much for all your prayers, for your continued thoughts and prayers for Deacon Tommy, and for our producer, Mr. Bill. Okay. And thank you very much. So first of all, let's get into the business perspective. If I ask you to please go to this website. They produce our shows, and we use their platforms on Spreaker, and I really appreciate them, and I love being a part of this family. It's kgrad.com. KGRAD as in dog and B as in bicycle.com. Now, please subscribe. It's very inexpensive. They have amazing shows. Really tremendous shows. If you love the paranormal like I do, you've got to subscribe. But put Bishop as your promo code, because you're going to get 30% off your subscription. It's already very inexpensive. But if you love the paranormal and you're kind of like, okay, I don't want to watch a rerun on the television show, you want to watch something new, I'm telling you, the shows are fresh. This show, The Sacred Division, which have been, by the way, do you know this year marks the 20th anniversary of The Sacred Division? Yeah, I started in 2003. I started The Sacred Division 20 years ago this year. And I'm so happy to be a part of the KGRADB family. Just great people. So please put Bishop as your promo code, and you're going to get 30% off. Also, if you want to go to my website, You will be judged. Okay. BishopJamesLong.com. Yeah, I'll be judged because I show love and compassion, and you'll be judged because you just judged me and you don't even know me. All right. BishopJamesLong.com. That's my website. And of course, the church's website is usocc.org. Okay. That is the usocc.org. That's the website for the church's website. And by the way, if you have a calling and you want to be a priest, or perhaps maybe you want to be a Benedictine, fill out the application. We'd love to have you. Yes, we ordain women, and our priests can be married or celibate. Whatever. If you're called to live a celibate life, there you go. So we welcome everybody. We welcome everybody. So please consider, if you're interested and you do have a calling, we'd love to have you. I want to remind also everybody that we have some ordinations coming up in November, and we would love to have you guys there. I don't anticipate this being streamed, only because the internet service is not very good in this area. So it's November the 3rd of this year. It's going to be 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we have 3 of our wonderful deacons, seminarians. So they will be ordained to the diaconate. Deacon Tommy will be ordained to the priesthood. He'll also receive the enormous responsibility of the abbot. I'm the abbot for the Benedictine community, and now it's his turn to take the reins. And so he'll be accepting that responsibility. And Bill, one of our seminarians, will also be making his perpetual vows. And we also have, we're going to Michelle, our seminarian. I'm not a seminarian. She's our vocations director. She's going to be baptized. So if you would like to join us, we'd love to have you. November 3rd at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hold on. I'll promise you, I'll get your question in just a second. November 3rd, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Where it is, it's in Sycamore Springs Chapel. So if any of the moderators, if you're in here on TikTok, can you type this in? I'm going to type this in for everybody on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. But it's the Sycamore Springs Chapel. You know what I'm going to do? And if we have a moderator there in Instagram, that would be great too. I'm going to create a banner so I can put this in there. Hang tight with me, everybody, because this is important. And we're going to get to the show. I'm here for 2 hours. So I promise you, we're going to get to your questions. All right. It's Sycamore Springs Chapel, 717 West Tunnel Hill Road. That is in English, Indiana. And it is 47118. There we go. And so that way I can put that in there. So Sycamore Springs Chapel. And I better. Yeah, let me edit that at 3 p.m. At 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'm pretty prompt. So if it says 3 p.m., we start at 3 p.m. I'm just one of those old-fashioned kind of guys. Oh, yeah, I knew Lorraine. Yeah, Lorraine was a sweetheart. So Sycamore Springs Chapel, 717 West Tunnel Hill Road in English, Indiana. And that's going to be in November the 3rd. So there we go. Let me just hold on. I know it's kind of tough when you're November the 3rd. That's good enough. At 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, well, that's good enough. All right, so there we have it, and hopefully you can join us. We would really love to have you guys there. That would be fantastic. Like I said, I don't think it will be streamed because of the service. So I apologize for that, but there's not really a whole lot we can do about that because of the internet service. But it's going to be a beautiful. We're looking forward to it. So at 3 p.m. Eastern. I don't know why it's not doing that. Go. There we go. Now you have the address. Okay. Well, yeah, Julianne, you can go. You can go to go to usocc.org. So if you want to make a donation to the ministry, you can also do Cash App. Cash App is the $ Bishop James Long. The Cash App. That you can do that, or you can go to usocc.org, and at the very bottom, it says there's a PO box. Of course, and you're familiar with that, but you can go to Cash App. That'd be fine. Okay, so there we go. Let me take this off on the screen. So anyway, we'd love to have you guys consider joining us. Today we're going to talk about a really cool topic. And I know people are all immediately going to say, well, but I'm used to that. I'm used to the haters. Let me give everybody a heads up. First of all, I really don't entertain questions on the first hour because I'm usually teaching something about the paranormal at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Then I open it up, and everybody, I'll try to answer as many questions as I possibly can. Okay, so just please understand that I'm very focused when I'm teaching. I also have 3 computers that I'm running the show on, so I'm not necessarily seeing all the comments. I try to do the best I can. But for those of you who are on TikTok, if you give gifts to the ministry, and if I don't thank you, I apologize. It's only because I can't see it. So thank you for the likes. Moderators, thank you for being here, and thank you for the gifts to the ministry. Okay. Moderators, do you want me to keep the comments on for everybody, or just for subscribers? I'll on TikTok for the first hour. I'll do either one. You just let me know, and I'll be happy to do either one. Thank you there, Jason. Okay. Yes. So just the moderators it's up to the moderators, because the moderators are the ones that have to moderate all the hateful comments. So let's just see what if the moderators are okay, we can leave it open for everybody. But normally I turn it off the first hour. So anyway, just let me know, moderators, if you could, as soon as possible. I would appreciate that, folks. And I can't bring you on screen. I apologize, because again, I run it on 3 computers, so they won't be able to hear or see you. Thank you very much. Okay. Tonight's conversation is going to be about sage. And by the way, TikTok, I will not pay attention to trolls. So if you're bored and you kind of think that maybe you want to go back to middle school, I will completely ignore you. You will get no reaction from me at all, none whatsoever, at trolls. So you're wasting your time. Thank you for the gift. You're completely wasting your time. I know some people get all upset and start screaming and cursing and all this. I don't. I'm not a middle school student. We're adults, so you'll just be blocked. So okay, let's talk about sage. Now, I know a lot of people are immediately going to say, "Oh, Bishop Long, you should not promote saging because it's evil, it's the witchcraft, and shame on you," and blah 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 blah. First of all, let me just say a couple things. My grandmother was Native, God rest her soul. She's resting peacefully in heaven. She was Cherokee. She loved sage. She had no problem saging. So I think we have to be respectful to people's culture. And you may not agree with saging, but I want to challenge you and try to figure out why. Because I'm going to talk about there are actually some really good benefits that come from saging. And I think because the problem with sage that a lot of people have is the connection that it has with witchcraft. And I think that's the issue with a lot of people. In recent years, the practice of smudging with sage has gained a popularity as a method for purifying and even cleansing homes. Now, sage smudging, if you will, it's rooted actually in ancient indigenous traditions. And it involves burning dried sage leaves to release the aroma, the smoke. So what I'm going to try to do here is talk a bit of some various reasons as to why smudging is beneficial to your home, including its potential for many people who believe that it clears negative energy. It promotes relaxation. It enhances focus. And in many cases, it actually improves air quality. Now, I'm going to briefly mention these, but then I'll go and to break them down a bit more. First of all, there's a lot of, there's a strong belief that saging clears a negative energy. Now, I'm going to make it clear. I'm not saying, before anybody starts jumping down my throat, I'm not saying that, yes, we should everybody sage, and that's great. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is that there are benefits, and we have to respect those benefits. One of the primary reasons people turn to sage or smudging is to clear negative energy from their living spaces. See, negative energy, thank you. Negative energy can accumulate over time due to stress, arguments, even the presence of negative individuals. And Lord knows there are a lot of negative individuals in this world today. I don't know why. I don't know why some people choose to be negative. I just don't get it. But smudging is believed to release negative ions that neutralizes the positive ions, effectively cleansing the environment, restoring balance. Have you ever, have you ever gone outside right before a thunderstorm and you feel that energy? I do every time. You see the clouds, you see the thunderstorm, the cloud, and it's coming in, and it hasn't rained yet, but it's approaching, and you can just feel that energy. You can feel the energy. Well, I'm going to talk about in just a second as far as the moral perspective, the ethical perspective. But give me time, because we'll get there, folks. We'll get there. But again, hang tight with your questions. I'll get to them at 8 p.m. So just kind of remind people, moderators, if you would. That's negative ions. And by removing negative energy, the belief is that sage creates a more harmonious and peaceful atmosphere within the home. Now, actually, it also promotes relaxation. Sage is often used to create a calming and relaxing environment. The aroma of burning sage has been associated with stress reduction and increased relaxation. The act of smudging itself can be a meditative practice, allowing individuals to focus on the present moment and let go of any tension or anxiety. Now, regular smudging rituals can help create a soothing ambience that promotes overall well-being and tranquility. Now, some people argue that smudging enhances focus and clarity. Okay, the aroma, the properties of sage have been known to actually stimulate the senses and improve cognitive function. So by eliminating distractions and promoting a clear mindset, sage can create an environment conducive to productivity, concentration, creative thinking. This makes it an ideal practice, I think, for students, professionals, or anyone seeking to enhance their mental thought processes. There's also a belief that smudging has been found to have many people don't know this, antimicrobial properties, which can help purify the air in your home. So when sage is burned, it releases smoke that can cleanse the air by neutralizing bacteria, viruses, and other harmful airborne practices. Did you know that? This can be particularly beneficial for like people who have respiratory issues or allergies. Additionally, sage can eliminate stagnant or stale air, leaving your home feeling fresh and revitalized. So there's a lot of arguments for and against saging. But let's talk about why so many people, especially pastors or even Christians, once you mention sage or smudging, their mind goes right to witchcraft. All the time. And that's why I think so many pastors are so against sage, because when you think of this, they think witchcraft. Why? Well, sage has a long history of being used in various spiritual and actually magical practices. It has been used by different cultures for centuries for its cleansing and purifying properties. In fact, it's been in many cultures that had nothing to do with witchcraft. But in witchcraft, sage is often used to cleanse a space or person of negative energy and to promote healing. Now, there's also belief that sage is believed to have protective properties, which makes it a popular choice for witches and practitioners of magic. This is where I think the disconnect occurs. When people think of sage, they think of people who are practicing magic, Magick. And it's often used to create a protective barrier around oneself or space, warding off negative influences or energies. Also, sage is a natural herb. It's often associated with the earth element. And many witches and pagans have a strong connection to nature. Well, so do I. Thank you very much. And use herbs like sage in their practice to connect with the natural world and harness its energy. So I think it's important to note that while sage is commonly used in witchcraft, it is also used in many other spiritual and cultural practices around the world that has nothing to do with witchcraft. So the association between sage and witchcraft is just one aspect of its broader significance. So we have to look at it from that perspective. Someone asked me, why do we incense like the church? What's the point of that? Why do we you go to someone's home and you bless the home? Well, actually, the word incense is it means to burn. It's commonly used as a noun, like to describe the aroma matter that releases fragment smoke when ignited, and to describe the smoke itself as a verb to describe the process of distributing the smoke. Now, remember, incense was actually highly valuable. It was a really valuable commodity in ancient times. A gift of incense was something to be really prized. So the tradition of incense and spices provided the economic basis for the famed 1,500 long mile Middle Eastern incense route, which flourished from the 3rd century BC to the 2nd century AD. The use of incense in religious worship, it actually predates Christianity by thousands of years. First, actually, in the East, which was 2000 BC in China. A lot of them like sandalwood, and later in the West, incense has long been has been a long integral part of many religious celebrations. By the way, incense is noted in Scripture, and the Bible mentions it incense 170 times. And the use of incense is in Jewish temple, it worshipped. It continued well after the establishment of Christianity. So the question is, why do we use incense or this aroma then to bless and to purify the space? Well, obviously, I'm clergy, so I have to talk about this because it's important. In the Old Testament, God commanded his people to burn incense. We see this in Exodus chapter 30, verse 7, and chapter 40, verse 27. So in the Catholic Church, incense is what's called a sacramental, used to venerate, bless, and even sanctify the space. Its smoke conveys a sense of mystery and awe. And I think this is a lot of people understand that this is why. Incense may also be viewed in the context of a burnt offering giving to God. So the question then becomes is, what about sage? Well, first of all, I would never use sage in church. I think that would be inappropriate because it's not considered a sacramental. So like blessed oil, holy water, holy incense, of course, those are sacramentals. You bless and sanctify the space. So from the Catholic perspective, no, you would never, ever, never use sage in church. However, can you use sage in your home? And would that be counterproductive, or does that go against Christian values? No, it does not. It does not. It's all about intent. I can use sage for the sole purpose of evil, just as I can use sage for the sole purpose of good. Sage in of itself is neither, well, actually, it has a lot of actually the elements that are quite beneficial, but in of itself, it's neither good or bad. It's what you use it and how you use it to determine whether or not it's good or bad. For example, I can use my phone. So here's my little phone here. I can use this phone for its original purpose, the original intent, to make calls or use it on the apps. Or I can use this phone for evil. So I could use this phone, for example, to harass people or go online and troll people and say nasty, nasty comments because they think they're being clever. Uh, I can use this phone for a variety of purposes, and the intent is what actually then you can argue. Well, then yeah, you're misusing the phone, or you're misusing whatever it might be that you're using at the moment. I can use my reading glasses, so I can put these on the table and say, if there's a spirit here, can you move the glasses? So I can, thank you very much. I could be opening a portal by using these glasses. So that's not the original intent, obviously, for the glasses, but you get the point. So I think we have to remember this. Now, I want to. This is from a Native American website, and I think that's respectful, and I think we need to present their perspective. My grandmother was full Cherokee, so therefore I have Cherokee in my blood. And this is from Tribal Trade. And their argument is, did you know that there are scientific reasons why you should start smudging with sage or other sacred medicines? So here's the deal. They say, why are so many people smudging with sage? Well, they're going to give us five. There's 5 important reasons why you should consider start smudging with sage or other sacred medicines. And we're not going to talk about using sage as negative implement. That's not the point. Now, first, the argument is that smudging with sage reduces over 94% of harmful airborne bacteria in a room. So let's just kind of forget the religious perspective for just a moment and calm down with, oh, you're all heretics. Just let's kind of tone that down. And let's open our minds and try to look at the logic. There was a huge reason. In this article, they say to start smudging right there. I'm going to repeat that. Sage reduces over 94% of harmful bacteria in a room. And people, there's scientific research that has been done that proves that the smoke's ability to disinfect and purify the air was maintained for up to 24 hours. So they say now you can start saving money on Febreze and ignite those smudge bowls and smudge sticks. Now, okay, so they say now that we know that smudging acts as an antiseptic and disinfecting the air that we breathe. What other benefits are there? Well, smudging with sage, it actually neutralizes the positive ions in the room. So let me break this down. It makes the energy around us more free. See, when you're stressed, when you're angry, or when you're tense, there's a buildup of positive ions in the air. Now this is science. We're not talking about religious perspective. That is being released from your body. So when you have such tremendous negativity and overwhelming stress, the body naturally releases the positive ions. So the energy in the room becomes stagnant with an imbalance of just positive ions. Many of us think, well, positive, that should be good. It's a play on words, because in this case, it's not. Now, just to be clear, positive ions, they say, are not the same thing as positive vibes. Okay? Because the argument is positive ions are harmful and can cause us to feel tired, burnt out. And smudging turns the positive ions back to negative ones. And therefore, the practice of smudging, it cleanses and purifies the atmosphere. I think it's pretty cool. I have a negative ion. It's called a negative ionizer. And when I'm feeling overwhelmed or stressed or anxious, and I know that I'm producing these positive ions, which a lot of people again get those confused. I release these negative ions to create the balance, and I can tell the difference. So that again, we're talking science. Also, they say burning sage increases your clarity, your awareness, and also improves your mood. So, and the author here says that this is not just their opinion. Studies have actually shown that smudging with sage makes you think more clearly and also enhances your memory too. It's also been shown to quicken your senses as your awareness goes up. Why? Because the negative ions are released. And number four, they say the smoke from the smudging medicine has been used to help aid lung, brain, and skin function. Now, listen to this. When I read this, I thought this was fascinating. Research from over 50 countries, they have found that smoke from sage has been used since ancient times to help improve your respiratory system, your nervous system, and your skin too. And once the fumes become inactive, they act as an air purifier. And then finally, they say this: the smoke heightens your state of mind so you can think pure thoughts and feel good physically and spiritually. Again, this, for those of you who want to know, this is coming from tribal trade. And sure, they would have a reason to promote this, but I think I like the logic that they're presenting. So they say indigenous people have been smudging since the beginning of time. And the author says, growing up, I was taught from my elders that smudging gets rid of the negative energies, and it also heals. It heals us on a spiritual level. As a Native American people or indigenous people, we believe that the sacred medicines are gifts from the Creator that were given to us to help our mind, body, and spirits. There's a lot more arguments too. How many of you? I'm just curious. How many of you do sage or smudge? I should say. How many of you smudge? I'm just curious about your perspective. Yes, yes. Folks, I'll get to your questions in a minute, guys. I promise you. Like I had mentioned quite a bit actually. At 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I promise you I'll get to your questions. So you smudge. Smudging is necessary. I don't think, okay. I don't know how to do it. Well, we'll talk about that in just a second. You did in college. Okay. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a really good point about, so quite a few do. Yeah, I'm just reading the art. I'm just reading some of the comments. Wow, so there's quite a bit. Yeah, I think that that's quite a few people saying yes. See, here's the deal. My problem is the smell. I don't have a problem with saging the room, saging the whole. Now, and I'm going to talk about I guess theologian in me has to give my perspective from a theological perspective, but the problem is the smell. Can you suggest maybe a particular sage? So 80% said yes on TikTok. Wow. Okay. How how do yeah, I agree. It is small. The strong is very strong. Is there a particular smell? The smell of sage is awful. That's why I prefer Palo Santo. Okay. Well, smudging is. Oh, we're going to talk about that. I'm going to give you how to do it in just a second. I will do that. So we'll get there, folks. I have tried lavender, yeah, but I'm talking about sage. So let's talk about just sage. I appreciate everybody throwing out all kinds of. So with dragon blood, does that smell? Is that a powerful smell? Wait a minute. There's lavender sage. See, and I'm learning because I did not know that. Is there lavender sage? See, my problem, I just can't the oh, the incense. No, 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 no. I'm looking at the okay, look. Here's what I want. I'm looking for I don't want any incense. I want sage. I'm looking for a particular smell of sage that isn't overwhelming. That actually is because that's what I'm looking for. So please, white sage. Okay, white sage. Because a lot of times it's terrible. It smells so bad. I'm not getting a whole lot of prairie sage. Okay, so that's the one thing that I need to find because sometimes here's the issue. I cannot. In some apartments they won't allow you to use incense, and so sometimes they do allow saging. Okay, so yeah, ordinary sage things. I agree. I agree. So you're saying white sage. Okay, I'm going to write this down. Hold on, let me write this down because I don't know. And I went to one house about a month ago, and they allowed sage, but the smell was terrible, terrible. So white sage is not bad smelling. What else? Dragon's blood. Someone else said dragon's blood. See, people think, oh, that's evil, that's satanic, and I guess that's why. Oh, you're saying, see, they're saying the white sage stinks. Okay. Yeah, sandalwood sage. Please, I don't want incense. I'm just sage. I don't want oils. Say, come on, folks. Try blue sage. Okay. Blue sage. Yeah, we got white sage, prairie sage. Okay. I've never heard of prairie sage, but I'll check that out. Cleveland. Okay, there's a Cleveland sage, everybody. Cleveland sage is the sweetest smelling. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to dip anything. I don't want to because it's too. I don't know how to do all that. I just want to open. I just want to open the package and burn the sage. That's it. I don't want to dip in oils and all this. That's I can't. It's too much. Okay, clary sage. All right. So here's what I got for anybody else. Yeah, that's wood. That's not. We're talking about sage. So we got white sage, but some people said it smells. Some people don't like it. So some say it smells. I'm going to put that bad. Then there is dragon's blood sage. A lot of people, but it's very strong. Blue sage, prairie sage, Cleveland sage is this, and then the clary. So blue sage is awesome. So okay. So there we go. I'm hopefully this list will help you too. Clary sage. Yeah. Again, I don't want. Okay, I don't want candles. I don't want incense. I don't want oils. I want strictly sage sticks. That's all we're talking right now, because we're trying to help everybody. And just dragon's blood smells like bacon. Okay. Oh, okay. Thank you. Okay, great. Well, again, Danny, that's your opinion. All right, thank you very much, Suzanne. Send that to me on Facebook if you would. So there we go, folks. A lot of people are saying white sage, but it smells strong. The dragon's blood sage, a lot of people like that. Blue sage, prairie sage, Cleveland sage. People are saying that's the nicest smelling, and clary sage. So yeah, and again, I will tell you how to sage in a moment. I promise you. Okay, so maybe that helps everybody. So let's talk a little bit about this. There are some more benefits that we're going to talk about as far as the saging is concerned, and this is by Researchify. So they say, are you interested in burning sage to enhance the air quality in your house, improve your health, or alleviate depression or even anxiety? Well, they say in traditional medicine, sage is utilized as a spice and a way to promote health. You see, smudging, or otherwise known as the burning of sage, that's what we mean when we say smudge. It's an ancient spiritual practice. Smudging is a common Native American cultural or tribal practice. However, it is not practiced by all tribes. Now, it is due to the traditions of it is due to the numerous Native American people. Among them are the Lakota and some other tribes, of course, Cherokee. Sage has been used in Egyptian, Roman, Greek, Native American healing practice for thousands of years. So dry sage is burned to heal, protect, increase wisdom, and strengthen disease defenses. I'm not for sure about the wisdom part, but okay. Common sage, Spanish sage, white sage, and Chinese sage are some of the most well-known sage species, according to this article. The botanical name for common sage is Salvia something. Similar ceremonies can be seen in many other civilizations around the world. Now, dried sage leaves can be used as a spice in cuisine. Sage is also available in liquid, spray, lozenge, pill, or tablet for internal use. I don't know if I would. Two chemicals in sage. There's, again, I don't know if I would consume them, but now here are some things they say that will benefit. It reduces the body oxidative stress, defending against the effective of free radicals, inflammation of being reduced, infections caused by bacteria and viruses are prevented. It helps with digestion, protecting against memory deterioration and improving mood or reducing depression. So overall, this site says there hasn't been enough research on the uses of sage for its alleged mental health advantages. So we have to be fair and we have to be honest. So first of all, there's a lot of people saying hello to all you guys. I have right now over 200 messages on Messenger. I just hang tight. I run the show on 3 computers, folks. Preliminary evidence suggests that sage for mood and memory may be beneficial. So here is according to a study, it's a 2005 study. Standard sage, the oil, boosted memory and cognition. That's your thinking ability. Increased dosages were also connected to a better mood and attentiveness, tranquility, and happiness sensation. And by the way, in other studies, sage's active chemicals may protect against neurological illnesses, according to this study, like Alzheimer's. So smudging or burning sage is burning sage leaves and allowing the smoke to purify the air in your home. Burning sage serves a slightly different perspective than consuming it internally. You see, poor air quality has been related to a variety of health problems. Burning sage is viewed as a cost-effective technique to help purify the air. Sage, as I mentioned earlier, is also known to have antibacterial qualities, which aid in killing bacteria, fungi, and viruses. It's important to remember that burning sage produces smoke, which can be detrimental to persons with asthma and respiratory problems. So we have to say this. And according to some alternative medicine practitioners, burning sage or even consuming it internally may aid in releasing negative energy. In addition to burning sage, some people employ sage cleansing sprays. I've seen those in their homes. So the argument is they get rid of microorganisms in the air. It's also an insect repellent. It improves intuition, stress, anxiety. Obviously, it purifies the surroundings. So anti-microbial properties are present in the most commonly utilized forms of sage. Obviously, they keep infectious like viruses and bacteria and fungi at bay. So pretty cool. It helps relieve some stress and diseases. It turns out that sage can assist with more than pests and bacteria in the air. Burning sage is said to release negative ions, which we talked about. However, to be fair, this has not been experimentally and scientifically absolutely confirmed. It is thought to aid in the neutralization of positive ions. Okay. Now, The belief is to wait until the smoke has dissipated before entering the room. And some people say, on the other hand, inhaling the smoke when smudging can exacerbate any respiratory problems. Well, duh. So we don't want to do that. There are arguments that, folks, I'll get to your questions in a minute. Okay, I've said it 20 times. Just relax. So, okay, just relax. I don't know how many times I have to say that. I'll get to your questions in a moment. I could sit here and literally look at 3 computers and say, okay, write your questions. Or I can sit here and teach and then get your questions at 8 p.m. That's what I'm trying to do. Okay, a spiritual tool. Smudging has been done for centuries to connect to the spiritual realm or improve intuition. Healers and lay people in ancient societies employed burning sage to achieve a healing state or to solve a ponder spiritual problems. It can also be based on science. So certain types of sage, such as salvia sages and white prairie sage, contain a certain ingredient. It's psychoactive, according to research. It is present in various plants employed in cultural and spiritual ceremonies to boost intuition. And again, I talked about how it's dispel negative energy. Smudging can also be performed as a ritual to purge negative energy from yourself or the area, like past traumas or terrible experiences or other people's negative energy. Lord knows we have plenty of those. Choosing to participate in a ritual might start a mental shift, perhaps, it says. Also, there's a belief that smudging, the burning of sage, the benefits of smudging are primarily due to the fragment smoke produced by burning sage. The incense can be used to smudge yourself or specified areas. You can also smudge certain things, according to some reports. It's appropriate for like purchasing gifts. If someone, or let's say they buy you an antique and you don't know anything about this antique and you want to kind of remove any type of negative energy. Well, there's a lot of arguments that people say you can smudge that argument to remove that any type of negative energy. Okay, fine. There is belief that smudging improves sleep quality. So smudging has long been used to protect against negative energy that could disrupt sleep. Now, there are some studies that say that sage has chemicals that may aid with insomnia. For example, garden sage is occasionally used in the same way as white sage. It also has been used to help people sleep better and relax. It helps boost cognition. So smudging with sage may increase your memory, focus, in addition, by the way, to dispelling negative energy. We talked about improving mood, strengthening intuition. There was an assessment in 2016, and evidence regarding salvia's cognitive enhancing advantages is promising. So it suggests that we could use it to treat dementia, Alzheimer's. But again, obviously more research is required. But it is showing, the studies are showing some interesting perspectives there. Also, energy level. There's a lot of people who believe that it will increase the energy. So getting rid of that negative energy from the body and items and spaces will help you welcome the newer, fresher, more positive energies. Okay, smudging is also done with sage-like plants closely related to white prairie sage. And it does create sometimes an uplifting fragrance. Well, I'll be honest with you. I have used sage before, and I guess I'm just using the wrong type of sage. Because it smells terrible. And again, if you were here in the very beginning of my presentation, I explained it thoroughly as to why there's so many people who believe that saging is connected to witchcraft. So we've already talked about that. And I think that's it's sad that immediately you think sage, evil, magic, and I wish we could kind of train our thoughts or our minds at different perspectives. So, but this says uplifting fragrance. I disagree. So far, the sage that I have burnt smells terrible, but they say this may be the best of all benefits for some. Pure and simple, they say sage is a beautiful incense with a divine aroma. I don't know what they've been smelling, but the sage that I have used before, no. So that's why I was asking. if you guys, what your favorite as far as the smell. So what do you do then? Well, if you want to sage, okay, let's get to it. Smudging or burning sage is a simple process. It requires only a few pieces of equipment. Some people will use a ceramic clay or even a glass seashell or bowl for holding the burning sage or capturing ash. You need a sage bundle or a smudge stick, matches, fine, or lighter. Some people have a feather, so when you fan it, some people like that, some people don't. So you can smudge with a variety of sages. For example, white prairie sage. People like that. Um, we can kind of debate as far as which is the best. So how do you prepare? Well, they say in this article, if you're smudging for spiritual, energetic, or negative clearance, some people propose setting intentions before burning sage. They say you should remove animals and people from the room. Duh. And before and during and after smudging, leaving a window open, it's a good idea. And so that makes it possible for smoke to escape. Some people feel like that smoke carries pollutants and negative energy. So don't skip this step, they say. So how then do you smudge? Well, while there is a lack of data to back up the practice, there are a few disadvantages to burning sage in your house. In terms of mental health practices, burning sage is relatively inexpensive. The advantages of trying something new can't be overstated. So to begin burning sage, you'll need to first locate a supply of the herb. And there's plenty of places where you can buy sage, even online. Steps. So to begin with, you'll need a container to burn the sage. It can be a bowl to capture the ashes as the sage burns, or an incense tray. You can also purchase a sage burner. Fill it with sand or soil. And we'll talk about why a lot of people prefer sand or soil. I'll talk about that in a minute. They say always keep water on hand. Before you start burning the sage, open a window. It allows the smoke to leave, and fill the burning container with sage and ignite it. And to keep it burning, let it burn for a few seconds before blowing the flame out. If the smoke stops coming out, try lighting it again. Set an intention for what you're doing with the sage if you're utilizing it for purposes to remove negative energy. Okay. Allow the smoke to enter each room you'd like to purify. Allowing too much smoke to permeate in an area is not a good idea. So, and obviously they say avoid taking direct inhalation of the smoke. If you're going to smudge in a space, like a living space or an object or more, then they say use a match, light the end of the sage bundle. If it catches fire, extinguish it. The leaves tips should generally smolder, generating dense smoke. And with one hand, direct the smoke over your body, and while holding the bundle in the other. Allow the incense to remain on the parts of your body or the environment that you want to concentrate on. Direct the smoke with a fan or feather. However, that's not required. And again, allow the ash to accumulate in a bowl. As far as in your home, they say direct sage smoke over all surfaces in place in your home and living in the area. Basically, it's all about intention. It's all about the intention for this. If you want to use it for yourself, you can use a feather. Okay. Anyway, set your intention before you begin. If you have a sage bundle, hold it by the end, light the other end by a lighter, and hold the smoldering sage bundle and container with loose leaves on one hand. And again, there's nothing wrong. You don't have to have feathers. Some people have like one of those little flip fans where they can fan it. That's fine too. They say begin at the entrance of the space that you want to smudge and move clockwise around the room, making sure to smudge all the corners, your doorways, your windows, any area where negative energy may be. And you can open the windows and open the doors, certainly. You can also smudge yourself, again, by moving the sage and the smoke around your body. And they argue start from the head all the way down to the feet, or to the feet to up to your head. If there are specific areas or objects in the space that need extra attention, spend more time smudging those areas. And then, of course, now about extinguishing the sage. This is the part that a lot of people make mistakes on. They say once you've finished smudging, gently press the smoldering sage bundle or loose leaves against the heat-proof container. So a lot of people have sand or dirt. Some people make the mistake of taking it out in water. You don't want to do that. If you do it in the water, you're going to. I have done it before and ruin actually the sage itself. So you don't want to. You definitely don't want to do that. Now, people love Palo Santo as well. It's like it's a musty smell. It's considered by many people holy wood. It's commonly burned with sage or incense to cleanse an area. There's a lot of people who believe that it has a lot of therapeutic properties. Palo Santo has a long and distinguished history in ceremonial rites, and even in creating sacred spaces. It has a soothing smell and cleaning the cleaning energy. It also helps relieve stress and anxiety. So after you smudge, after you cleanse the area, dip the candle, the candle's burning end into a dish and ash and like sand. So a lot of people like sand. Some people like dirt. I like sand. And now when you store your sage stick, because you don't want to just throw it away, because many times the sage is still there. The stick is still, depending on how obviously long the stick is. You can extinguish your sage stick after clearing and cleaning it by gently pressing it into like a shell or clay or a bowl. And after that, open the doors and windows in the room to let all the trapped energy to escape. Some people prefer to wait 20 to 30 minutes for the sage smoke for the peak effectiveness. Now, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration has approved sage for use as a spice or condiment as well. So the usage of sage for health purposes is generally regarded as safe. However, if you are thinking to use sage internally, obviously you should inform your doctor. No doubt about it. Some sage species contains a neurotoxin that can affect the nervous system. And a hazarded dose of sage oil is believed to be 12 drops or more. And it's generally secured to do so. Again, when you're talking about children, you need to be careful about that. So just be aware of any potential respiratory issues that children or animals have. Now, we have to do this because it's only fair. Smudging is safe when done appropriately and respectfully, and the effects persist long after the smoke is cleared. When sage is lit, use caution. Burn and even flames are possible if you aren't careful. Never leave sage to burn unattended. So make sure that the bundle is completely and thoroughly dry once you're finished. It is usual. Sometimes it will set off smoke detectors. That's why I cannot use the church incense in apartments. But many times the sage will not cause the alarms to go off. People with asthma and respiratory illnesses may be more sensitive to the smoke. And that's why you need to keep a window open if you're doing this. Restlessness, high heart rate, vertigo, vomiting, renal damage, seizures, tremors are possible with long-term sage use. So be careful about that. And the article also says whenever you want to use sage is the best time to sage. Burning sage, they say, is an excellent technique to cleanse the previous owner's energy and set your goals for the place when you move into a new home or office. You can, however, sage your home whenever you feel drawn to do so, whether you're looking to reset your energy or simply unwind. Fine. When it comes to how often you should sage your area or yourself, there are no hard and fast rules. So when you feel that the negative energy is there, consider saging. Now, Native American, by the way, a Native American smudging prayer. I need to talk about this because my grandmother's Native American. Well, she was, God rest her soul. Smudging has profound origins in Native American culture and ritual. It's an integral aspect of the culture and ceremony. So they want to, in this article, they want to share the smudging prayer to acknowledge the holy nature of this event. And again, this is from a Native American perspective. So we have to we respect all people and all cultures. The prayer that many shamans will pray when smudging: may your hands be cleansed, that they may create beautiful things. May your feet be cleansed, that they may take you where you most need to be. May your heart be cleansed, that you may hear its messages clearly. May your throat be cleansed. So you're doing this while you're saging. May your throat be cleansed, that you might speak rightly when words are needed. May your eyes be cleansed, that you may see the signs and wonders of this world. May this person and this space be washed clean by the smoke of these fragrant plants. And may that smoke carry our prayers spiraling to heaven. It's actually kind of beautiful. Burning sage has a long history. It may be beneficial for beginning in spiritual practice or making a life of transformation. It could be helpful if you're going through a transition, want to start making some positive adjustments. Burning sage is a powerful ceremony indigenous people have used for thousands of years to cleanse negative energy. So if you're going to use sage in your own home, business, apartment, make sure you do it correctly. On the other hand, burning sage is unlikely to help if you suffer from severe mood disorders or clinical anxiety. It is beneficial to consult your doctor, obviously. As a spiritual activity, the website says burning sage has numerous advantages. There's evidence that I've just argued for an entire hour that sage has health benefits such as antibacterial qualities and increased alertness, but more research is needed. Beyond the cultural practice of the ritual, there is relatively little research on smudging. Remember that burning sage in some Native American communities is revered as a religious activity. So obviously treat the with awe and reverence. And if you want to know where I got all the information, you can go to healthline.com. You can go to verywellmind.com, tinyrituals.co, cb2.com, and mindbodygreen.co. Okay, so there we have it. That's a little bit of information. You know, a lot of people want immediately, and people, and I'm not paying attention. I will not pay attention. Listen, I'm not going to allow people to determine my worth. I'm not going to allow people to tell me how I should live my life. If you don't agree with this, I don't care. I don't care. I'm not asking your permission or anybody's permission to agree with me. I'm not asking your permission whether or not I should do this presentation. I don't need anybody's permission. So if you disagree, that's fine. That's no problem. Then it's not for you. It's not for you. It's not for, that's fine. That's okay. But one thing you ain't going to do is you ain't going to come up on here. You ain't going to tell me what I should and should not do. So let's there's a lot of people, you guys don't see it. There's a lot of people coming saying I mean, seriously, the comments that I've seen, some on Messenger, have been pretty aggressive. I mean, really nasty. Really, really, really nasty. So to those people, I would pray for you because obviously you need a sage. Girl, you need a sage. That's what you need to do. You need to smudge all over. You need a smudge bath. Because you got negative energy that's oozing. Seriously, I think we have to be so. Some people think they have the authority to judge others and condemn others and then tell you how to live your life when their lives aren't in complete shambles. Isn't that interesting? That's interesting, isn't it? There's a lot of people like to tell you how to live your life, but then when you pay attention, you look at their lives and you see a complete mess. But they're going to come up here and tell you how to live yours. Girl, boo. Let that go. Okay. I mean, remember, Jesus had problems with religious people. They crucified him. So, yeah, I agree with that. In that term. Oh, you want to know the links again? Sure. They are Healthline. If you're looking for the links that the references, healthline.com, verywellmind.com, tinyrituals.co, cb2.com, and mindbodygreen.co. So there we go. That's the references there. Yeah, it's just one of those things. Look, there's always going to be people in this world that's going to tell you how to live your life. There's always going to be people that like you're not doing this and you're not doing this and you shouldn't do this. And you said I didn't ask. I didn't ask you for your opinion. I'm not your kid. You ain't my mama. You ain't my daddy. So I didn't ask you to tell me how I should live my life. See, that's what you got to. That's why I always tell you every time that your value does not decrease based on someone's inability or refusal to see your worth. Because there's a lot of people that's going to try to define you. And so what I do when people try to define me, I hold up a mirror and say, look, you need to pay attention to you. Look at your own reflection. Look at your own reflection. Fix your own problems before you come and offer opinions about mine. And that's how I work. Okay, I can't bring you on. 'Cause I said that a billion times already. I can't bring you on because I run the show on 3 different computers and people won't be able to see and hear you. Okay, I should do a recording just constantly when people are wanting to come on. Okay. Yeah, I know it's woo, crazy, isn't it? A lot of people are just, man. Okay. So a lot of people are asking questions, and when I was trying to do the presentation, and now here, let's open. God forbid, and we actually. All right. Uh, have people in this world met demon to condemn good people? Let the good saints do the work. Yeah, there you go. There we go. Isn't that the truth? Yeah. So I'm going to look into these sage, the the smells. I don't like anything that's really like the regular sage stinks so terrible, terrible. And I think white sage is what I had, and it's just really bad. Um, it's not. It's not. Okay. People are asking. Well, come on, folks. You got questions? I mean, God forbid. All right. Well, thank you very much. Okay, folks. Look, the Pope's throne is not built in the shape of a serpent. I appreciate the question. I do. But you have folks. Please don't get your news on social media. Okay, the Pope's throne room, also known as the Apostolic Palace or the papal apartments, is not specifically designed in the shape of a serpent. The architecture of the Vatican and its various buildings, by the way, including the papal apartments, is influenced by different historical and artistic styles. There's no intentional serpent like design. It's more important to verify information from reliable sources before accepting such claims. So that is junk that's put on social media for clickbait so they can get paid. Sorry. Okay. Yeah. So it looks like dragon's blood people liked and blue sage. I'm gonna try to find blue sage and Cleveland sage, and then I'll give you guys. I will tell you what I think about it. Hello, hello. 102,000 likes there on TikTok. Thank you very much. Thank you. That's very kind of you. Thank you. Okay. Shadow people are kind of. Oh yeah. Thank you very much, Sue. Shadow people are. It's a debate, isn't it? Because I have been in some locations where shadow people were present, and it was very negative, unbelievably negative. I've also uh, been in paranormal investigations where the shadow people I didn't feel threatened at all, not at all. So it's Oh, this stupid thing. We just simply don't know. We don't know. The jury is still out. There's a lot of theories on shadow people, but because I have seen and been in situations where shadow people were negative, and I've been in the situation where shadow people were not, there's a lot of theories on that, but we just simply don't know. Uh, how do you feel about the Vatican holding the true history of secrets of mankind? I actually think that the question itself is erroneous, because it implies that the Vatican is hiding the true history and secrets of mankind. So I think the question in of itself is misleading, because I don't believe that they're doing that. Can you give us more interesting things about God? Well, we can, but we can, but keep in mind we try to. I'm very very strict when it comes to Bible study on Sundays and Wednesdays, and this is Friday, so one time a week I answer paranormal questions. So for the folks who want the paranormal, I try to be fair to them. Uh, a matter of fact, I did a presentation on just the scientific proof that God exists. Scientific proof, without question. And we're not talking about opinion. We're not talking about just the scientific proof. And I did that this the other day. Maybe I'll do that again on a Bible study. Doing good, doing good. Glad you're here. I should know better. Yeah. Well, thank you very much. Thank you. Oh, please. Yeah, I just I'm not a fan as far as the question. And I understand, Joe, the question, but the question is, how do you feel about the Vatican hiding the true history and secrets of mankind? Well, the question implies that I believe that the Vatican is hiding secrets in the history of mankind, which I don't believe that. So I think that's why I don't believe it. All right. I'm agnostic. Can you change my mind? I'm not here to change your mind. I mean, that's, I have, let me tell you something. I appreciate the question. I have learned in life that sometimes no matter what I say, no matter what the logical arguments are, there are some people, no matter what I do, they're just simply not going to accept it. They're just not, no matter what. And I can do the best I can to explain. But as far as can I force? No, I can't. Thank you. Oh, please. I appreciate that. But I'll be happy if you guys want me to talk about the scientific. Well, thank you for the universe. If you want me to talk about the scientific proof of God, I will. But I try to be respectful to people. A prayer, I would say the Saint Michael prayer, the short form, which is, St. Michael the Archangel, defend us in battle, be your protection against the malice and snares of the devil. May God rebuke him. We humbly pray and do thou, O Prince of the heavenly host, by the power of God, cast into hell Satan and all evil spirits who wander the earth seeking the ruin of souls. So I would certainly say that's a fantastic prayer. There's a shorter form and there is a longer form as far as the prayer itself. And a shorter form that I just did, it's fine. I did not know Malachi Martin. No, no. Well, there's a lot of type of incense that you can use. Gosh, there's all kinds. It really just depends on your personal preference regarding the smell, because sometimes people can't. So what I would encourage you to do. People are asking as far as the for blessings. Um, if you're going to use incense, I would. As far as charcoal, because I use charcoal in incense, and of course I bless the incense. That's why it's considered a sacramental. Uh, I would encourage you to go maybe on eBay or something and look for if they have samples, because there are a lot. There's a variety of incense that you can use, and some are really really potent, while others are not. So that's my advice, because it really is each person is it's a bit different. Each person is different. Um, Stephen King, I've read. Yeah, I've read Stephen King. Yeah, it's wait a minute. Hold on. Whoa, 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 whoa. Back the train up there, sunshine. That sounds very occultic in nature, with incense and sage and candles. Incense is occultic. Candles. How is incense and candles occultic? I don't understand. In almost practically every church, there are candles. Um, that's interesting. I did, did did you know that they actually burnt incense in the Jewish temple when Jesus was teaching the Torah? Did you know that they actually burnt candles in the Jewish temple when Jesus was teaching the Torah? So I'm a little confused as why one would believe that's occultic. Can it be used for occultic practices? Yep, absolutely. But so can anything else. So, uh, yeah. Okay. Interesting. But I appreciate it. But you're right. It can be used. Anything can be used for evil, no doubt. Yeah, just go to bishopjameslong.com and you'll see the class there. Yeah. Elementals. Oh, no, shadow people are not. Yeah, shadow people and elementals are not the same thing. There's a belief in Native American culture that elementals are, again, you can believe this or not. I'm just giving the information. Elementals are very entwined with Native American culture. That if you destroy the habitat, that these elementals or nature creatures will cause havoc in your life, in your home. But if you restore that habitat, then the activity will stop. Again, I'm just giving you what it means, and you can either say, "Yep, I accept it," or "No." That's cool. That's cool. Either one. I just hopefully that information has helped. I obviously I like all the books in the Bible, so I don't really have a particular favorite. I think Psalms is really, really not preached about as often as it should, but I think all the books are good. How do you get a negative energy or entity to leave for good? Well, it depends. Like for example, uh, for me, I would perform the minor rite of exorcism. The minor rite of exorcism is performed on a demonic entity or malevolent spirit that has infested itself within the home and that's causing havoc. And so you don't perform an exorcism on a home, folks. It doesn't exist. Anybody tells you that there's no such thing. You can't perform an exorcism on a home. You can bless the home, but you can't perform an exorcism on it. You perform an exorcism on the evil entity that's manifested itself. And don't listen to this man. Hey, Diane, let me help you there, princess. Bye-bye. Okay. And boy, I tell you what, they're out tonight. Don't listen to this man. He's only been talking about respecting people's culture. That's all. Don't listen to him. Anyway, bye-bye. Okay. Have you seen? I've seen Fire in the Sky. Yeah. Yeah. See, that's the thing. They think it gets to me. It's like, bye, Shanika. Okay. So okay. You want me? You guys, you don't believe that God is real? Oh. Well. I am being challenged on an intellectual level that God doesn't exist. And there's no scientific proof that God exists, and therefore I should stop talking about God, this person says. Well, you changed my mind. I mean, that statement, mind blown. Holy moly. That person told me that I should stop talking about God, that God doesn't exist. I mean, I've got to change my life now. Okay, princess. This is my quote. So follow with me. The complexity of design alone clearly points to a greater intelligence of the design itself. Allow me to go slower. The complexity of the design alone clearly points to a greater intelligence of the divine itself. Okay, design. So let's talk about this. Let's you. All right, fine. Okay. A single DNA cell alone with a human body contains so much complex information within one single DNA cell that Carl Sagan, by the way, compared it to an equivalent of 100 million pages of an Encyclopedia Britannica. And that's just one small DNA cell. And that's by chance. Even if you believe in evolution, the idea of a simple cell is fallacious because the human body alone, by the way, is made up of 55 trillion cells. And each cell cooperate with one another. Again, not by chance, but rather intelligent design. You see, microbiologists explain that if just one of these 55 trillion cells do not cooperate with the other cells, guess what happens? It directly affects the human person, but that's all by chance. The complexity of one cell alone, 55, again, you understand what I just said with Carl Sagan, compared to 100 million pages of an Encyclopedia Britannica. That's one small DNA cell. We have 55 trillion. The complexity of the one cell alone is so extreme and incredible that it would be mathematically impossible that it was created by chance. By the way, mathematician Sir Fred Hoyle stated that if the universe was this by chance theory, just in other words, thrown together by chance, he asked, what would it be in the chance in billions and billions of years that you could obtain the basic enzymes of life by chance? And he concluded that the possibility would be mathematically impossible. And he's a mathematician. So let's talk a little bit then about this. Just once, wouldn't you love for someone to simply show the evidence for God's existence? No arm twisting, no statements of you just have to believe. Now watch. You watch. All the people who are been slamming me today about proving God exists, they're going to leave because they don't want to listen to fact. I'm not going to preach to you. I'm going to tell you the fact. So, fine. I'm not going to tell you what you just have to believe. First, consider this. If a person opposes even the possibility there being a God, then any evidence that I'm going to present or rationalize can be thrown away. They just won't listen. And that's fine. Yes, the Bible says there are people who have seen sufficient evidence, but okay, let's talk about this. Let's talk about science. Since you want to put all your faith in science and no faith in God, fine. The complexity of our planet points to a deliberate designer who not only created our universe, but actually sustains it today. That's by chance. For example, the Earth. Do you know that the Earth is perfect in size? The Earth's size and corresponding gravity holds a very thin layer of mostly nitrogen and oxygen gases, only extending about 50 miles above the Earth's surface. If Earth were smaller, an atmosphere would be impossible, like the planet Mercury. If Earth were larger, its atmosphere would contain free hydrogen, like Jupiter. Earth is the only known planet equipped with an atmosphere of the right mixture of gases to sustain plant, animal, and human life. And you want to tell me that's by chance? Furthermore, the Earth is located at the right distance from the sun, considering the temperature swings we encounter, roughly minus 30 degrees to even above 120. If the Earth were any further away from the sun, we would all freeze. Any closer, we would all burn up. Even a fractional variance in the Earth's position, the sun would make life impossible on Earth. The Earth remains this perfect distance from the sun while it rotates around the sun at a speed of nearly 60,000 miles per hour. Do you know that? It's also rotating on its axis, allowing the entire surface of the Earth to be properly warmed and cooled every day, but that's just by chance. And our moon is the perfect size and distance from the Earth from its gravitational pull. The moon creates important ocean tides and movements, so ocean waters do not stagnate. And yet our massive oceans are restrained from spilling over across the continents, but that's by chance. Water, let's talk about that. Colorless, odorless, without taste, and yet no living thing can survive without it. Plants, animals, human beings consist mostly of water. 2/3 of the human body is water. Now, it has an unusually high boiling point and freezing point. So water allows us to live in an environment of fluctuating temperature changes. So while keeping our bodies at 98.6 degrees, water is a universal solvent. This property of water means that thousands of chemicals, minerals, and nutrients can be carried throughout our bodies and into the smallest blood vessels. Water is also chemically neutral. Without affecting the makeup of the substance it carries, water enables food, medicines, minerals to be absorbed and used in the body. Water has a unique surface tension. Water in plants can therefore flow upward against gravity. bringing life-giving water and nutrients to the top of even the tallest trees. But that's by chance. Water freezes from the top down and floats, so fish can live in the water. 97% of the Earth's water is in the ocean. But on our Earth, there's a system design which removes salt from the water and then distributes that water throughout the globe, but that's by chance. Evaporation takes the ocean waters, leaving the salt, and form clouds, which are easily moved by the wind to disperse water over the land for vegetation, animals, and people. It is a system of purification and supply that sustains life on this planet. It is a system of recycled and reused water by chance. The human brain, well, let's talk about it. Some people don't use it. Simultaneously processing an amazing amount of information. Did you know that your brain takes in all the colors and objects you see, the temperature around you, the pressure against your feet on the floor, the sounds around you, the dryness of your mouth, even the texture on your keyboards? Your brain holds and processes all of your emotions, thoughts, and memories at the same time. Your brain keeps track of the ongoing functions of your body, like your breathing pattern, eyelid movement, hunger, movement of the muscles in your hands. The human brain processes more than 1 million messages a second. Did you hear what I said? Your brain processes more than 1 million messages a second. Google it. Your brain weighs the importance of all this data, filtering out the relatively unimportant. The screening function allows you to focus and operate effectively in the world. The brain functions differently than any other organ. There's an intelligence to it. The ability to reason, to produce feeling, to dream, to plan, to take action, to relate to other people, and that's by chance. The eye can distinguish among 7 million colors. It has automatic focusing and handles an astounding 1.5 million messages simultaneously. Google it. Evolution focuses on mutations and changes from and within existing organisms. Yet evolution alone does not fully explain the initial source of the eye or the brain, the start of the living organisms from non-living matter. And that's by chance. You know, and I don't care about any of the paranormal questions because people have ticked me off, and now I'm going to talk about this. Scientists are convinced that our universe began with one enormous explosion. I believe that, of energy and light, which we now call the Big Bang. Okay, fine. That was the singular start of everything that exists, the beginning of the universe, the start of space, and even the initial start of time itself. How many of you are astrophysicists? I don't care about ghosts. We're not talking about ghosts right now. How many of you are astrophysicists? I'm not. But did you know astrophysicist Robert Jastrow said this? By the way, a self-described agnostic, stated that the seed of everything that has happened in the universe was planted in that first instant. Every star, every planet, and every living creature in the universe came into being as a result of events that were set in motion in the moment of the cosmic explosion. The universe flashed into being, and we cannot find out what caused that to happen. Well, Mr. Astrophysicist, by the way, Steven Weinberg, a Nobel laureate in physics, said at the moment of this explosion, the universe was about 100,000 million degrees centigrade. And then the universe was filled with light. The universe has not always existed. It had a start. What caused that start? Well, scientists have no explanation. Well, I do. Here's another thing. Here's another thing for the hater-gators out there saying God doesn't exist. Okay. Did you know that the universe operates by uniform laws of nature? Something that's created by chance doesn't have a uniform law of nature. What am I talking about? Well, good question. You see, much of life may seem uncertain, but look at what we can count on day after day. Gravity remains consistent. A hot cup of coffee left on a counter, it's going to get cold. The Earth rotates in the same 24 hours, and the speed of light doesn't change on Earth or in galaxies far from us. How is it that we can identify laws of nature that never change? Why is the universe so orderly, so reliable? You see, the greatest scientists have been struck by how strange that is. There is no logical necessity for a universe that obeys rules, let alone one that abides by the rules of mathematics. The astonishment springs from the recognition that the universe doesn't have to behave this way. It is easy to imagine a universe in which conditions change unpredictably from instant to instant, or even a universe in which things pop in and out of existence. By the way, Richard Feynman, it's a Nobel Prize winner for quantum electrodynamics, by the way, said why nature is mathematical is a mystery. The fact that there are rules at all of any kind is a miracle in of itself. Now, for the people who are asking about, prove to me that God exists, they're gone. Of course, we knew that they would be. We also know that God exists because God continues to pursue us. See, many atheists, the issue of people believing in God, sometimes people say, well, that bothered people. What's it about all the atheists that we should spend so much time, attention, and energy refuting something that that people don't even believe it exists? What causes atheists to do that? You see, a lot of people attributed their intentions as caring for those delusional people like Christians, to help them realize that their hope was completely ill-founded. But the people say, as they challenge those who believed in God, there was some people want to be convinced. Why? Well, he created us with the intention that we would know him. He has surrounded us with the evidence of himself, and he keeps the question of existence squarely before us. I think that's really a fantastic perspective. God provides the best explanation for the existence of the universe. That's all in it. There is order. God provides the best explanation for abstract notions such as numbers, mathematical formulae, chemical-based processes, and natural laws. The alternative theory, by the way, is that the chaotic first elements ordered themselves into a complex information system. It doesn't work that way, because it remains completely chaotic. The design. God provides the best explanation for the absolute complexity inherent in the cosmological, stellar, planetary, chemical, and biological systems. The alternative theory, people say, just a random chance by engineered apparent design. The encoded instructions that I told you, God provides the best explanation for digital DNA code contained in and controlling the functions of all life on Earth. You see, the alternative theory, when people who don't believe in God say, is that complex code, such as binary code, running computers, can pop into existence without any kind of programming, the testing or debugging process. Well, that's idiotic. A computer doesn't create itself. We create the binary code for computers to run. The irreducible complexity. God provides the best explanation for fully functioning biological organisms, systems, subsystems that could not come about through gradual evolutionary process without total ceasing to exist at lower evolutionary levels. The alternative theory is that the biological systems took huge unseen leaps from simple to complex without any guided process or forward-looking instructions. Come on. The duality. What does that mean? God provides the best explanation for the separate human functions of the brain and the conscious, matter and mind. The alternative theory is monism. Only matter exists, and the human brain only appears to have a separate subconscious ability and morality. God provides the best explanation for the existence of love, emotion, altruism, the inherent moral ethical values throughout this world. The alternative theory is that unguided materialistic processes evolve higher human consciousness. Whatever. Would you like for me to continue? Or have I think I've explained it thoroughly. Okay. I've talked about the argument from design. I have talked about, even from an anthropological perspective, humans have a complex personality. It seems, and it is absurd that such complexity could have emerged from nothing with no cause. Rather, the human personality would need to be made by a being with the same, if not greater, complex personality. The cause and effect argument. Everything we think of, everything we encounter, has been caused by something. Every effect has a cause. In something as complex and awesome as the universe, there is no difference. The Big Bang Theory does not destroy this argument, for no one can explain the cause of the Big Bang Theory. Cause and effect. This pen. I have lifted this pen, and I will drop this pen. The effect, it falls. I cause this because of gravity. I cause this. Otherwise, it has to have a cause and effect. Ontology. You know what that is? If there is a concept of something, this implies that something has to exist. For example, there's this popular concept of true love. Although this concept might often seem elusive, the fact that we have the concept of true love in our heads points to the real probability of the existence of true love. Perfect example. I know I am not perfect. I have the idea of perfection, so therefore something more perfect must exist other than myself. God. Argument for morality. The sense of morals, by the way, which most people have built in, points to the existence of a moral creator. More than this, the other option of evolution has no way of explaining how morals even came into the pond slime and ultimately from nothing. So again, these arguments on their own and even collectively cannot possibly prove that God exists. But logically, they can provide enough for a starting point that would say, yep, there's something there. Anybody else? Or are we done? Okay. Oh, that's true. A lot of people still don't have morals. That's true. But many people do. Okay. Thank you very much, Kim. And thank you for the 152,000 likes on TikTok. Cheers. Oh, thank you very much there, Silly. I appreciate that. Rapture next month. It doesn't matter. We don't have to worry about the rapture. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Yeah, someone's asking. Yes, the physical universe was caused by something beyond it. Something does not create in of itself. Nature is not. So there's something that had to. The unmoved mover had to create or even think of the existence. God, remember, God exists outside of existence. He exists outside of time and matter. Everything we encounter has a cause. The words you're hearing right now is causing by I'm speaking to you. Cars move because they have an engine. A tennis court didn't suddenly just come into existence one day. It was built by someone. People speak words because their brains instruct the muscles in their mouths to move. So it's reasonable that the world we can see and which we're a part of also has a cause. And in all this, in all the universe, by the way, the most complexity is found in the human body. And I talked about that, and specifically the human personality. This means that the cause of the universe must be at least as personal as we are. You want to here's some logic here, a deep philosophical, theological arguments here. This personal cause, higher being, brought about a universe with a number of characteristics. The universe has an amazing amount of unity and diversity in it. Imagine a life without color, music, rainbows. Imagine not being able to imagine. Humans have emotions and intellect, which brings about hopes, dreams, fears. They also bring about their recurring, why am I here? What is my purpose? Humans have the ability to make their marks on this world for good or for bad. And this is why we see extremes such as Adolf Hitler and Mother Teresa. Humans are not automatically clued in about the existence of a higher being, but the incredible number of spiritual paths point to the fact that most people are interested in at least finding out. So, anyway, there. Oh, how do we get here? Because God willed us to be here. All right, so there. But I do not believe that we exist by chance. I think that is the most absurd, illogical argument that one can even consider. So hopefully that dissertation brought some type of logic to people. Probably some people are convinced no matter what I do, no matter what I say, there's nothing that they're going. No, I don't believe it. That's fine. Yeah, I believe in baptism. Oh well, thank you very much, Ariel. That's very kind of you. I do believe dinosaurs were made extinct by an asteroid. That makes a lot of sense. From a logical perspective, and I think science is pretty conclusive on that. You have to remember a massive asteroid could do incredible, pretty dangerous stuff. So I went to space camp as a kid in Huntsville, Alabama, so I love space. I am like one day, I keep saying this, I'm going to go to Kennedy Space Center, and I'm going to be like a kid in Christmas. I could sit there and look at a space shuttle for 8 hours and they say, okay, James, you have to leave now. So one day I'm going to do it. I'm going to go there in Kennedy Space Center, but it just, the asteroids are concerning. That is asteroids. Okay, so I will get to some of your questions, your paranormal questions, because I was slammed for some reason. I don't know what the people are wanting me to prove the existence of God through logical perspective. So yeah, I love astronomy. I agree. I agree, Ariel. God is science. I agree with that. Because God created science. Yeah, I don't see a disconnect there between God and science. I just simply don't. Oh, well, thank you very much there. Silly videos parent. Thank you very much. Oh, 162,000 likes. Wow, that's great. Yeah, I agree, Danny. God wanted some people to hear explanation. Hopefully that helped. But what religion should be able to tell us why the dinosaurs? And I don't think we need. Look, religion is not about telling you that dinosaurs existed or didn't exist. Religion is to help you. Again, some religion. There are some religions that are kind of out there, but religion is supposed to help you develop moral standards and love for your friends and other people. Hopefully help you become in tune with the Creator and connect with God through prayer. That's what I do with my Christian faith. So my Christian faith teaches me to follow the tenets of Christianity, to love one another, to not judge people, to not be so darn hateful. But Danny, I don't know if there's going to be a season 2 of Legion of Exorcist yet. I don't know. But I'm not really for sure. We haven't heard anything. But we just simply don't know. They did well. The show did well on the ratings, but Space Museum, absolutely, yeah. Does the Bible do those things? Do what now? To help you grow closer to God? Yeah. Well, thank you very much, Exploration. Thank you. I think so. Now, unfortunately, people have used the Bible for a hate tool. And that to me is, I think that's very sad. When people use scripture to judge and hate and condemn, because that's not what Christ taught about. Well, it depends there, Mothman. It depends. That's a good question. If you're getting visited by ghosts, is that bad? See, here's the thing. I believe our loved ones can visit us because heaven exists outside our time and space. Heaven is not restricted. Can you okay, mind blow. Can you be in heaven and here at the same time? Yes. You can, because heaven exists outside of time and space. It's not restricted. Like we are restricted in time or space. With heaven, it's not. So I believe our loved ones absolutely 100%, no doubt in my mind, can be here with us to let us know it's either through dreams or through several things. I mean, I've had personal experiences, and so yeah, I certainly believe that. The Space Museum. I went to Huntsville, Alabama. That's where I went to the space camp. But the Kennedy Space Center is where I absolutely really want to go. I think it's in Florida. No, nice to see you. Did I encounter Jesus? I encounter Jesus every time I show love and compassion to another person. I encounter Jesus when I help someone else, not expecting something in return. That's where I encounter Jesus. I've always found that when you show compassion to someone and when you help someone and you do it out of love and not out of, okay, now I'm going to help you, now give me something back. I've always experienced that when you do that, I experience Christ, because that's what Christ was all about. Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm very, very jealous. Well, see, that's the thing. When you're talking about heaven, we think of heaven as a place that's restricted. Like we can't be in two places. Our minds cannot conceptualize a place that exists that's not in that restriction of time and space, because everything in our lives is all we can't concept. Obviously, we have no concept of that because we can't. The idea that heaven can be there and here. So I think it's an interesting perspective. Now, what Revelation talks about, of course, that I taught Revelation. If you're interested, January the 8th, I think I did 6 months on it. So you can go to my Facebook page and watch that. But yeah, good. Okay. So any other questions that you guys have? Can God be a time traveler? God exists outside of time. He doesn't need time. There's no reason for God to be a time traveler. He created time. Oh, good question there, Irene. What's the difference in possession and mental illness? Well, and that's really scary, because there's a lot of people who are performing exorcism on people without having a mental health therapist evaluate the individual first. That's very frightening, because an individual could have dissociative identity disorder, and you can create another identity, or they can have paranoid schizophrenia, and you can put them in a manic state. But we can tell, first of all, we require a psychological evaluation. We have a licensed mental health therapist, and I will not ever perform an exorcism on anybody without them going through. They have to have it. It's not even an option. It's not an option to say no. If they say no, fine, then I can't help you because I'm not a psychiatrist. But a person who is mentally ill does not levitate. A person who is mentally ill does not have the ability of what's called retrocognition or prognostication. Retrocognition is the ability to know your sins. And not because demons can read your mind. They're not all-knowing. God is all-knowing. Demons are able to know your sins because sins fall under what is called ordinary demonic activity through temptation. So the demons will tempt you to sin. You fall into the sin. That is how they know them. And they will use those sins against you. That's why an exorcist, we go through what's called the sacrament of reconciliation prior to performing the exorcism. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Oh, please. But levitation can occur. Retrocognition, prognostication, the future events, that can occur. Mimicking the voice of deceased loved ones, throwing the voice. I've talked about this before. If you go on YouTube, it's really cool, by the way. If you go on YouTube there and put on some headsets, there is it's called 8D. Thank you, Mr. Producer. There's an 8D sound system. I think that's what it's called, or sound test. But if you do that, put on the headset and they play music and you can actually hear it, and it sounds like it's coming from behind you and in front of you and on top. It's really cool. That is a demonic can do that. So they will scream, and when they throw their voice, it sounds very like an 8D sound quality. You hear it here and behind you and above you. That's not mental illness. Markings can appear on the body. They will have the ability. Thank you. Oh, that's very beautiful. Thank you, Elna. They can have knowledge of languages that they've never studied. So there are things clearly that we can demonstrate. Okay, this is mental illness and this is not. Yeah, Jesus will come back, but we don't need to worry about when. Don't worry about that. There's a lot of people who are stressed out about that. TikTok, I'm going to be with you guys. I'm going to stay with you guys a little bit longer. Okay, I'm going to stay with you guys a little bit longer, but I'm going to sign off everywhere else. But if you guys want to come on over TikTok, I'll be with them for a little bit. My friends, I tell you all the time, your value does not decrease based on someone's inability or refusal to see your worth. Remember, you are priceless. Never let anybody tell you or convince you otherwise. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, KGREDB. God bless. The Sacred Division has been brought to you by Bishop Long's online paranormal course. Learn demonology, angelology, paranormal studies, and genealogy. It's 100% online, and you learn at your own pace. Please go to www.bishopjameslong.com and click on the paranormal course link.